One thing I think is really interesting to the problem of marketing is, and yeah, it goes with anything, right? I mean, we help a lot of people with web development and developing products and things like that. Nobody has unlimited budgets. Nobody has bottomless pockets. If they did, they could just throw piles of money at everything they're trying to do, and there they go, right? But they don't. And I was reading some research by Rakuten Marketing, and they did a survey of 1,000 some marketers around the world. Let me pull this up. The respondents estimated that they waste an average of 20%, 26% of their budgets on ineffective channels and strategies. And about half of the respondents to the survey said they misspent at least 20% of their budgets in general. And that kind of blew me away. That's, if you're a company of any decent size, like you could be spending thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in marketing, maybe big companies, hundreds of thousands more, right? I mean, a Super Bowl ad, I mean, that's a huge amount of money, right? And if that's not on point, if you're putting that in a channel that is not really working for you, I mean, that money ain't coming back.
No, absolutely. I think, if you're spending more than you're going to make on the advertising, you've clearly made a bad spend. But there's a lot of cases where people do get good results, but they could have gotten either better results or spent less money to get the same thing. But certainly money is a limiting factor for most people.
I suppose that's not even the only limiting factor. No. I mean, time and energy matters too, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You spend time developing campaigns. You put them out there. They got to run for a while. It's not just an instant thing. They got to build up, and there's experimentation. You got to let it play out for a bit. And if that's not going the right direction, if that's not hitting the mark, well, you're not getting that time back. But I imagine we're also kind of talking about how long the sales cycle is too, because once you get those leads, it's not just instant sale, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think to give you an example in our business, we advertise to our marketing is fairly broad, and there's a wide community that it can apply to. But if we just open it up and advertise to everybody out there, we're going to get a lot of calls that spend a lot of our time to nurse along opportunities that may not be a good fit, or they're clearly not a good fit up front. And I think, the key to some of these strategies is to avoid not only spending the money, but spending the time to try and mature an opportunity that probably will not mature, or will not necessarily be as profitable as other ones that you could be focusing on.
And so you're kind of talking about really prioritizing accounts or prospects that you have the best chance of maybe landing. But
that's right. That in most cases when we're working with a customer, we will identify the area or areas of their offering that have the most potential, either potential market or potential profitability potential ultimately. And tend to focus the efforts in those arenas, and it often is the end user community that is the biggest distinguishing factor. It's often the end user community, and so our recommendation, certainly when it comes to spending on clicks, but also when spending on fielding sales leads, is minimize the number of leads that are coming through the door and make sure those are the best possible leads.
Because we all have limited time. Right, we have so many hours in a day. Sometimes, I mean, we can't even necessarily control when these all come in, right? It's not necessarily a set cycle. All right, we're going to get 5 today. We're going to get 5 tomorrow. We'll just work through them, and maybe you get 20 one day. I mean, that would be great, right? Or 1 the next, and you that, right? I mean, there's kind of like a flow to that you work
That's
with.
Right.
And
it's kind of random, but one way or the other, it's using your time, and if you can set it up. By contrast, if you're getting 10 leads a day, 9 of which are unqualified, that's an extreme example. Or if you're just getting 1 lead a day that's qualified, those 2 are the same thing. Only you're answering the phone 9 less times in one scenario.
You get the one that's just really great and could be a huge account. There's the other end of the other side of the table too, right? The people who are reaching out, and I mean, I suppose it would be really nice if it's a great fit for them too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there is only so much you can do, but really what we do is we work very hard to identify exactly who that ideal customer is. Certainly for paid advertising, it's really important that we don't spend the money in the first place. But also for organic advertising, it's important that we don't spend the time with sales leads that don't have as much potential, or customers that aren't really a good fit for what we do.